Yes, I did. I did say 12 yesterday. But I forgot that I have to go film a local event. Thank you for the thumbs up already. We already got a bunch of thumbs up. Thank you for adding to the viewer count. You're tuning in, you're adding to the viewer count. That's fantastic. Let's see. Oh, there we go. To put that up. Final Cut TV and Coffee, as usual, Saturday morning. So, thank you. Very cool. So what we have, here's the deal. Sometimes I have to go film local events and they start at 12 o'clock. In the area, I got to go somewhere, Frederick or downtown Sykesville, which is where I'm going today, and film an event. And I forgot about that yesterday when I said that I would switch this over to 12. So the idea is that I'll send out a notice a couple hours ahead of time what time it's going to be. It's going to be between 10 and 12. I'm going to switch to 12 most of the time if there's no other event that I have to go to. So we'll see how that works out. I think 12 will be fine. If you have a preference, let me know. So we got some good news yesterday. That we got a date finally for the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. We got that date already, so we'll give people time to get in here before we go into anything heavy duty. Over the next, let me see, it's July, let's say August, September, October, November. So over the next August, September, October into the middle of November, that is going to be, there we go, another thumbs up. Fantastic. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you tuning in. People that tune in enjoy the podcast. That's why you tune in. If you didn't enjoy it, you wouldn't tune in. You'd be an idiot if you were tuning in and didn't enjoy podcast about Final Cut Pro. Thanks for adding to the viewer count. It is appreciated. What else do we have? So in case you didn't get it, let me see if I can go ahead and thank you for the thumbs up. It's appreciated. Thank you very much. Another thumbs up we got. We got lots of thumbs up. You be a fan of Final Cut Pro. That's what you are. Fan of Final Cut Pro and this podcast. That's why you come here every Saturday morning to tune in to all the hundreds of thousands of views that I've gotten, over 500,000 views on my YouTube channel. We're approaching 600,000 views at this point. Very, very cool. Appreciate it. Another thumbs up. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. I enjoyed early, but I totally understand you're trying to give our friends in California the ability to watch. The more, the merrier. Absolutely. We've had over 100 live viewers. Surprisingly, we have a lot of viewers on X these days. There's another thumbs up. Fantastic. Thank you very much. It is appreciated. So we got a lot to talk about today. We're still waiting on Final Cut Pro 10.8.1. Week 6 starts next week. I have some clips over the next 4 or 5 months that I'm going to be playing from my 20, 30 hours of Final Cut Pro Summit footage that I have. You'll see that exclusively on here on the the live stream, and we'll have more to say about the Final Cut Pro Creator Summit. That will be fine. Going forward, I have a clip today to show the Juniper Hotel that we've been at since 2016. Here's another thumbs up. Thank you very much. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. You're adding to the viewer count. That makes all the difference in the world. Please keep them coming. Maybe we'll do 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I'm just thinking I might go a little bit later. Maybe we'll try 11, we'll try 12. That'll be fine. That will be fine. So the big news yesterday, let me pull this up. The big news yesterday is do I have that? Here we go. 2024 announcement. The 2024 announcement, it happened yesterday. They finally came out and said that here we go, another thumbs up, fantastic, appreciate it. They finally came out and said that the Creative Summit is November the 13th through the 15th, Wednesday through Friday, which is fine. And it's at the Juniper Hotel, which I have a video of that I've shot over the years to show you what the Juniper Hotel is like. And there's another thumbs up. Thank you very much. I would have missed the live stream had I not decided to look at what YouTube has to offer, as I thought the live stream would start 2 hours later than last week. What has changed? So sorry for the confusion. The main thing is to just check each week. It's going to be between 10 and 12 usually. What changed was when I said it was going to be 12 o'clock today, that I thought I forgot that I have another event I have to cover starting at 12 o'clock today down on Main Street in Sykesville. That's the reason I switched back to 10. But I post this around. Everybody knows where to look. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. That'll be fine. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. That'll be absolutely superb. So what's going on with Final Cut Pro 10.8.1? The best I can figure is that the Final Cut Pro team is on vacation. At least they have been. So they released 10.8 and then in the middle of summer, so a lot of them went on vacation and they can't work on the bug fixes. That's the best guess that I have, because last year they were doing really, really good on bug fixes. They had bug fixes out in 2 weeks, 2 weeks and 2 days, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. This time, 10.8, we haven't seen a bug fix the sixth week starting next week. So maybe next week will be the lucky week. We'll have to see. Let's see what that is. Yep, that's cool. So here's the information about the Creative Summit. It's Wednesday, November 13th through Friday, November the 15th, 2024. And we are back at the Juniper Hotel. We're back at the Juniper Hotel. Let's give accolades to Future Media Conferences. Thank you for putting us back at the Juniper Hotel where we belong. So I've been live streaming on YouTube for a while. Since 2016, I started Facebook and YouTube. I'm approaching 600,000 views total. I started, if you've noticed, you probably have advertising. I started monetizing my live stream, so I'm actually getting paid by YouTube to do a little bit, spending money enough to maybe help with when I make trips to NAB and to Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, and I report live on it. That's very cool. If you're watching the live stream, let me know where you're from. We get people from all across the globe, typically. All across the globe, of course, across the United States as well. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of a movie. Let me cancel that pop-up. I'm going to start showing you what it's like, why we really like going to the Juniper Hotel. So this is the outside of the Juniper. This is the outside of the Juniper. This is their courtyard. This is the outside of the one restaurant. I think this is 2019. When I was just walking away, I just wanted to. Here's the inside lobby of the Juniper. So people that haven't got a chance to go, you'll see why. And there's the reception desk on the left. Now, let me see. Saw a big YouTube entertainment channel promoting how great Premiere Pro was as an editor and how I, as an editor, could get it. Do not mention that you had to subscribe on a monthly basis. Well, the problem is you have to subscribe on a monthly basis for the rest of your life. It's not like you had to subscribe, and if you stop subscribing, you can keep the version that you have. No, it's a monthly ransom for the rest of your life. That's what I don't like about it. Something I'm thinking about doing in the future is share screening on Discord while I edit. I think it would be a fun way to hang out and not too much intrusive on the creative aspect. Yeah, there's some other people that do that. They screen share while they're editing. That's not my thing. I have to concentrate on my editing, for sure. Have to concentrate on my editing. Let's see. We got dozens of people watching right now. We got, people on X and Facebook and on YouTube, of course, as you might expect. It's amazing to me that a lot of times X has, here we got another one. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in and adding to my viewer count. Thank you very much. It's appreciated. It's amazing to me that on X, sometimes it's the same amount of people or even more than what's watching on YouTube. Very cool. If you're over there on X, do a comment so I can make sure the comments are working. I always like that. So there's a couple of things we don't know yet. We don't know the cost of the Creative Summit. We don't know the speaker lineup. We don't know the subjects. We don't know when Apple Day is. I'm going to guess Wednesday, but I have no idea. It could be Friday. Typically, it was Friday, but last time they had Apple Day on the Monday. We went to the Spaceship Campus on the Monday. So that was the first day of the Creative Summit. That was interesting. First time we got to the Spaceship Campus. That was the first time we got to the Spaceship Campus. People are watching. You're just tuning in. We got a lot of people watching. Just go ahead and thank you for the thumbs up. It's appreciated. Let me know where you're watching, what part of the world you're tuning in from. Not going to matter. Final Cut Pro is getting passed by CapCut. Well, for perhaps social media posts, CapCut is interesting, but remember, as I've been telling you for weeks, if you run CapCut, number one, you're giving them permission to access your contact list. It's in the EULA. You give CapCut permission to access your contacts, and you give CapCut permission to record your keystrokes. That ain't going to happen. I deleted everything CapCut from my computer when I found that in my phone. You're giving them permission to access your contacts, and you're giving them permission to access your keystrokes, to record your keystrokes. I ain't going to do that for any reason. There's so many NLEs out there. I use Final Cut Pro, I use LumaFusion on my iPad Pro, and I use DaVinci Resolve on the Mac, the studio version. And they're all three different. I use them for different reasons. Oh, well, I can do more in CapCut than I can in Final Cut Pro. Blame Apple for slow rolling features. I'm not going to defend Apple for their feature release schedule. They can take care of that themselves. The Final Cut Pro team did say something at the last Final Cut Creative Summit. They said, we watch social media, we see the complaints about feature updates schedule. But to be honest, we are going to release feature updates on our schedule. We know what's going on behind the scenes. We know how feature updates happen. We know what's required. Nobody else knows but us. Now, like I said, I'm not going to defend them, the Final Cut Pro team, on their release schedule because it is slow, sometimes very obviously slow. Funny thing about the promotion was that people watching that type of videos would also be able to use any editor to create similar content, as an editor can do B-roll, which they are doing a lot. Listen, I have no problem with any of the NLEs except for CapCut, and I won't pay the Adobe ransom. Not only did they have a subscription for Adobe, but the fact that they don't give the customers the option to subscribe or to buy a perpetual license. If they gave you the option, say, here's a perpetual license, it's good for updates for the next 2 or 3 years or 5 years, whatever, but at the end of the 5 years, the software continued to work, that would be fine. But they don't do that. They're saying at the end of the 5 years, you got to keep paying for the rest of your life or the software will stop working. That's what I object to. A lot of us are done waiting 10 years for an audio mixer or other needed features. Time to move on from Final Cut Pro. Well, I'm not going to defend like I said, their schedule of updates. I waited 13 years for a scrolling timeline, finally got it. For an audio mixer, it's at the top of my list. Text-based editing, auto captioning, top of my list. Better keyframing, top of my list. I understand that. But you don't have to leave one to do another. I work on 3 NLEs. I don't have to leave Final Cut Pro because I want to do captioning in DaVinci Resolve or text-based editing. I did it this morning. I did text-based editing this morning in Resolve. It's very easy to do. Very easy to do, and it works really, really well. You can do just as much in Final Cut Pro, but takes some skill. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, has CapCut ever done a feature film in Hollywood? I don't think so. You've never done a feature film in CapCut. Nobody's done it in CapCut. And I'm not saying, different use cases. There's no sense in arguing. It's not about skill. It's about the amount of time it takes to do when it can be done faster and sometimes better and faster, something else. We know that. We know all the arguments. We've heard the arguments before. I'm not going to debate which NLE is better. Okay? I don't get involved with that. I like Final Cut Pro, LumaFusion, and DaVinci Resolve. I don't need any more. As a professional editor for the past 20 years, I've had to use a variety of NLEs, but I can say this, for me, I am the fastest editor in Final Cut Pro. Same with me. Final Cut Pro is definitely faster. Like I said, I'm not going to do CapCut under any circumstances because they record your keystrokes, you give them permission to record your keystrokes, and you give them permission to access your contact list. I ain't going to do that. That's a complete hogwash. So if I have to mix outside of Final Cut Pro or do composition in another program, that's just the pipeline process. Yeah, let's don't get into arguing which one's better. We're here because of Final Cut Pro. This is not CapCut TV. We should have a variety of tools at our disposal, and we do. We do have a variety of tools at our disposal. I use 3. I won't use Premiere because of the subscription model, and I won't use CapCut because of the privacy issues that it has. So, if they record keystrokes, isn't that Apple's fault since they are all about privacy? They could surely prevent it. You sign an agreement with CapCut. You're giving them permission. When you check off, I accept the terms of service, you are giving CapCut permission. They have a 10 or 15 page EULA, and in there somebody discovered they can record your keystrokes. That's not just recording your keystrokes when you're using the app. It's general permission to record your keystrokes. And accessing your contact list. So all your contacts can get spammed by CapCut or whatever they're using it for. That agreement doesn't supersede Apple's policy. Once again, you are giving permission for CapCut to do that when you accept their terms of service. Unless CapCut changes we want access to your content, I do not believe we will see any Hollywood movies done in that. Absolutely. It's nothing to do with Apple's privacy policy. Apple's privacy policy says they can't do it without your permission. You are giving them permission when you accept terms of service. That's why I deleted CapCut from all my devices. But if you're comfortable with that, if you're comfortable with them recording your keystrokes, if you're comfortable with them accessing your contact list, that's fine. Lots of people are. Who reads the terms of service? If you want to use an app, you just click OK. LumaFusion won't do that. LumaFusion protects your privacy. I just want people to know that's why what CapCut is doing. If a lot of people like it, it's very popular. That's completely fine. I understand that completely. So hopefully the Final Cut Pro team's back from summer vacation and they're going to get working on this 10.8.1 bug fix. There's 3 or 4 major bugs that I've seen reported by people that are, not just people that don't understand how the software works. I'm just checking. I'm just saying the reason many people have moved to other apps is because we are tired of waiting and hoping for Apple to bring us the features we need. No disagreement. There's no disagreement in that. I'm not here to defend Apple or the Final Cut Pro team per their update schedule, because I've been complaining about it for years. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I still, even with something as expansive as DaVinci Resolve or LumaFusion on the iPad, which is really great, I still use Final Cut Pro primarily because of the features and the way it works. Very fast. It's a very fast editor. If you edit in CapCut, that's completely fine. It's not for me for privacy reasons. I'm not going to say it's not. A lot of people use it, so that's fine. Not going to disagree about Apple's schedule of feature releases. I've been expecting 10.8.1 for the last 3 or 4 weeks. We still haven't got it. I presume it's because they're on vacation. I don't know what the other reason is, or it's a harder fix than usual, or maybe they're adding another feature in 10.8.1. That could be. I would not mind a feature or two with the 10.8 bug fix, as they have taken their sweet time with this bug fix. I agree. I always like features mixed in with bug fixes. That's completely fine. That is completely fine. Absolutely. So is anybody going to the Creative Summit? We got a lot of people watching right now, dozens of people. Is anybody going to the Creative Summit that's watching now, considering going? Depends on costs, yes. So here's the deal. 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019, the cost was very high. They have to pay all the speakers coming in. They have to pay for their hotels. I don't know what other meals, whatever they got to do. They have to rent a hotel, which cannot be cheap in Cupertino. They have to rent the exhibit rooms where the classrooms are. They have to pay their staff. They have to pay for buses. A lot of times they feed us. Tens of thousands of dollars is their initial cost. So 2016, 17, 18, and 19, the cost was close to $1,000, the in-person one. 2023, which last year, the cost was subsidized at least somewhat by Apple. So the cost was $299. Very reasonable. Very, very reasonable for this event. This is the biggest Final Cut Pro event in the world. This is the biggest Final Cut Pro event in the world. The biggest. There's none bigger. This is concentrated Final Cut Pro. You get 2 days of seminars and teaching from high-profile Final Cut Pro people. You get to go to meet and talk to the Final Cut Pro team, if they do it the same as they have in the past. We go to the Final Cut Pro Spaceship Campus, which, how else are you going to get there? That's part of the ticket. The Final Cut Pro team presents privately to this group of people Last year, we exclusively saw the first time Final Cut Pro 10.7 was made public. We saw it in person, live. That's part of your ticket. This is part of the deal. From the Final Cut Pro team, they showed us Final Cut Pro 10.7. We were the first to see it publicly in the world. Right there in Cupertino, right there at the Spaceship Campus. I love that. I love that. On top of that, besides just that, going to bring my microphone a little bit. Besides that, we also got a Q&A with the Final Cut Pro team. On the last day, the last session, we got an open Q&A with the Final Cut Pro team, hundreds of people in the room. The Final Cut Pro team is in front, and they answered our questions about Final Cut Pro and other things as much as they could. They're not going to tell you about a future feature or whatever. That's not going to happen. I don't understand the complaints about an audio mixer in Final Cut Pro. You can mix and adjust right on the timeline. Logic Pro or GarageBand are good options for any professional work, and Pro Tools. Most people in the film industry and professional work send their mixes to Pro Tools. Pro Tools is the post-production standard. Logic is a music production app. It has never been a post-production app, although I do some post-production work in Logic Pro, and I like Logic a lot. Once again, Logic Pro, it's a one-time purchase price, no monthly rental fee, no monthly subscription fee like Pro Tools has, but Pro Tools is the king for post-production work in a professional setting. They should offer an online package and capture more attendees, and could cut across those costs down, at least include seminars and keynotes. Yeah, but the whole idea with the Creative Summit is in person. Online is a different issue. They did not put the seminars up last year online because this is about in person. This is about, you can't film the Apple presentations. There's no cameras allowed on Apple campus. You can't audio record, you can't take photographs, you can't video record on Apple campus. So you can't see the Apple presentation. That's one of the biggest reasons that I go to talk to people on the Final Cut Pro team. It online would not have that. They don't allow it. Same with the Apple Q&A. No, you cannot videotape, you can't audio record, you can't take photographs. So those are the two biggest sessions that would never be online. The other sessions from people, Mark Spencer and Steve Martin and Philip Hodgetts and Final Cut Bro and whoever else is doing presentations, Jen Jager was there last time. These are specifically for people who can attend. This is like going to a Rolling Stones concert or a Lady Gaga concert. You pay for a ticket to be there live. Watching the event on YouTube after it's over is not the same, as you all know, as being there live. So I disagree with this. I get that, but hard to be enthusiastic and spend money to attend a conference for a product that's interest is dwindling because, again, lack of feature updates. Yes, some people say, oh, I'm going to leave Final Cut Pro and go to DaVinci or Premiere or CapCut. That's fine, but don't say that it's dwindling. We're probably up to 5 million or 6 million Final Cut Pro users at this point. It's not dwindling. It's not dwindling. Yes, some people are dissatisfied, and I'm not going to defend the Final Cut Pro team. They got to stand on their own record. I will defend them for things besides their update schedule because I've been critical of that for years. Does that mean it's going to change? No. They said it's not. They said they're going to do their update schedule on their terms. I'm always waiting for the next big update. I'm the perpetual Final Cut Pro. What's the right word? I'm not a fanboy of Apple or Final Cut Pro. That's not the correct word. I'm a proponent. I'm very enthusiastic about it. I think it's a great NLE. Just joined. Thought it would be later. Thank you for checking in, Chris. I'm sorry. I said it was going to be noon, but I have an event to get to this afternoon that I forgot about when I said that, when I scheduled it. I'm sorry. But anyway, each week I'll post the time when I post the link. So you can obviously watch these later. Let me see who's watching now. We got 36 people. Yeah. on X again. Anybody from X over there on X, just give me a generic comment so I can make sure that comments are working. I always have problems finding my live stream over on X. I know it's there, but I have trouble finding it. Let me just see something over here real quick. So is anybody else excited about the Creative Summit? They finally announced the dates. This is my favorite event to go to every year, by far. This is my favorite event to go to. So, is anybody else? If I was doing editing as a living, I would be very likely to attend, but as a teacher who are only getting editing small videos for educational use, I would not get enough out of a trip like that. I completely understand. But it's really cool. It's really cool to meet people in person and meet people that you've seen online in person. It's really, really cool. That's really cool. You get up in the morning, especially at the Creative Summit at Cupertino, because everything's in one place. You don't have different places people are staying, and you got to take a bus down or Uber down to where the presentations are. Everything's all in one place. You get up and you have breakfast and bagels with people that you've seen online, and you have conversations all day long. It's the in-person part that I really, really like. And at Juniper is great because it's all consolidated into one place. People stay in the rooms. The lobby, as we'll see in a minute, everybody's congregated in the lobby. You talk to people you recognize, personalities are there. And that's what really makes it. It's not just the training is on top of that as well. Meeting with the Final Cut Pro team in 2 sessions if they do the same as they have in the past. It's a great, great event for that. Now, it is expensive. Saw your video yesterday looking at get a hotel, waiting to see ticket prices and to find a way to get there. So they'll have a block rate for the Juniper Hotel, which hasn't been announced yet, which is going to be cheaper than you can get for yourself if you want to stay at the Juniper. Most of the people stay at the Juniper. I'll be staying at the Juniper. I like your videos from the event, though. So I have videos after the fact, and I report live from the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. I'll report live multiple times each day. From my hotel room is where I can do the best videos when I have my MacBook Pro. And now I'll have a second screen. I'll have my 13-inch iPad Pro as an additional screen when I'm broadcasting from my hotel room. So that's a big bonus. Only if 11 drops then. I'm thinking that 11 is going to drop at the Creative Summit. And the reason is because Logic Pro 10.8 came out last November, and 6 months later, they jumped from Logic Pro 10.8 to Logic Pro 11. 6 months. Logic Pro 10.8 came out in November. 6 months later, Logic Pro 11 was out. Is that something to show you what's going to happen with Final Cut Pro? I think it's possible. Who's to say they're not going to introduce a new product update or Final Cut Pro 11? They've been working with DaVinci more and more. Maybe one day they'll come together and emerge. I don't think so. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening from Grant Petty's perspective or Apple's perspective. Now, if indeed Final Cut Pro 11 comes out at the Creative Summit, what the heck does that mean? Is it a brand new version built from the ground up the way 10 was when it started? Very possibly. Very possibly. Apple should buy Blackmagic Design. I don't think that's going to happen. Grant Petty's pretty well embedded in Blackmagic. Pretty well embedded. There's things in Blackmagic that I'd like to see Apple do. I'd like to see them incorporate Motion, Compressor, Logic Pro, and Final Cut Pro in one app with different tabs for each application, the way Blackmagic Design does. You launch one app, Blackmagic, what is it called? Blackmagic or Resolve, DaVinci Resolve. All the apps are open and accessible via a tab on the bottom of the interface. You click on a tab, you go to different apps, and they're all working on the same project. Automatically. No XML. No XML export and import. XML is very, very clunky, and XML is old technology. XML is not modern. If you use an XML to go back and forth, it's not as much data as a Final Cut Pro library. A Final Cut Pro library has a lot more data than exporting an XML. XML was good for some things, and it still is, but it's not. It's an old technology. Blackmagic does it much better. DaVinci Resolve has the tabs on the bottom, and you jump from one app to the other on the same project. On the same project. They have an import, a media page. They have a cut page for quick edits. They have an edit page. They have Fairlight for audio. They have DaVinci Resolve color correction, color page. And then they have an export page. So it's like compressor. You don't have to launch all those apps individually. You launch just DaVinci Resolve. All those apps are connected, and you go from one to the other working on the same project. I would love if Final Cut Pro could do something like that. It's very ingenious. Grant Petty's an incredible CEO. Very friendly. I met him at NAB last time. He was on the Blackmagic floor, and I just asked him if I can take a selfie. But when I take a selfie, I'm always recording in 4K video or 6K on my Lumix X5 Mark IIX. So I'm recording. I had the video camera, my iPhone facing back towards me on a Insta360 gimbal with an extension on it, and I held it up there to get a selfie with him. But he started talking. Both of us can see that it's being recorded. So he stood there for like 5 or 6, 7 minutes, and I just recorded our conversation on a video. Hopefully I can do that again this NAB. If they redesigned it, if they bungle 11 like they did 10, I'm done for good. So, DaVinci Resolve was forward-looking, yes, but Final Cut Pro has some forward-looking features as well. And the bungling of 10 when it came out, you can watch the documentary Off the Tracks. Everybody knows, nobody defends that as a good transition from Final Cut Pro 7.0.3 to Final Cut Pro 10.0.0. Nobody defends that transition. There's a lot of mistakes were made, but it wasn't just the launch. It wasn't just the launch of the application itself and the way it changed. It wasn't just that. It was more than that. They took 7 off the store when 10 was announced. Big mistake. It came back. Steve Jobs made them bring it back later. So they brought it back. Thank you. Very, very cool. So, this is Sonoma, right? I think I'm on Sonoma. Is there a technical reason why Final Cut Pro cannot round trip with motion? I believe they used to be possible. It absolutely used to be possible. In Final Cut Pro 7, classic Final Cut Pro, you could right-click on a clip in the Final Cut Pro timeline and say open with motion. Motion would launch, the clip would be opened in motion. You can do what you wanted to the clip, motion, whatever things, and then save it. And it would be saved on the Final Cut Pro timeline as a motion project, but it acted like a regular clip in Final Cut Pro. It was an amazing way they did that. So obviously that can't happen anymore. I think they're just too reliant on XML back and forth, and that's not an efficient way of sending complete projects back and forth. Like I said, it's missing data compared to a Final Cut Pro library. That's one of the reasons when I make a Final Cut Pro project. So for example, I worked on this documentary that I just was shown last week for the second time in the movie theater. 5 years, 6 years working on it. I couldn't keep all that media inside a Final Cut Pro library. 7 terabytes, 8 terabytes, it would have been a complete mess. I keep it external, and then the Final Cut library is very small, and I can share that with the person who has access their own hard drives with the media on it. Just share the library back and forth. Very small. That's why one of the reasons I do that. Very green. We got some rain last week. It's kind of a drought this summer on the East Coast. But as you can see, the lawn, the trees, everything is very, very green. That is fantastic. Let's watch a little bit more of the movie. This is the Juniper. So this is the lobby. This is the lobby. I'm going to play a little bit of this. This is from the Juniper Hotel. Now we're going to go outside to another courtyard. This is a nice little area people mingle in. There's a little fireplace going for atmosphere. People gather here and just talk Final Cut Pro shop during the Creative Summit. Now, I haven't seen it for 5 years. It may have changed. This is where they have newspapers and coffee and stuff in the morning for early risers. Then you walk out here and you go to the courtyard, and right across the courtyard to the left is a couple of stores over there, and one of the stores is the Boulanger, and that's where everybody gathers for sandwiches in the afternoon, coffee in the morning. They have good breakfast and bagels and stuff over here. You'll see it's right over here to the right-hand side. And then across the street where the cars are, that's where the grocery store is, and Starbucks is over there, and a pizza place is over there. But this is like a little quick place. I don't even know if it's still there. I presume it's still the Boulanger. This is where a lot of people go in the mornings. They have bagels, coffee, etc., etc. I'll take you inside here. This is some of my footage from previous years. There's the courtyard area. I'll take you inside, then we'll get back to doing stuff live. There's the inside. It's a real nice little place. They have free Wi-Fi and stuff. Lots of tables and chairs. Thank you for tuning in. It is appreciated. Adding to the view count. Thank you very much. We appreciate everybody that tunes in. There you go. So, to answer your question, I don't know. There must be a technical reason why Final Cut Pro cannot round trip with motion. Very well could be a technical, it must probably a technical reasons or some kind of philosophical reason. Sometimes their reasoning is philosophical. That is very, very cool. Thank you very much. So the Final Cut Pro team might be on vacation. We'll have to see. People over there watching on X, somebody send me a comment from over there on X, if you don't mind. But in the meantime, we'll give some accolades to the Final Cut Pro team to get Final Cut Pro 10.8.1 out. We're still waiting on 10.8.1. Maybe it'll be out this week. We'll have to see. But the big announcement yesterday was the Creative Summit. They came out publicly and talked about that. All right, let's go back and watch a little bit more of our movie. This is the hallway typical hallway there at the Juniper Hotel. This is for people that are interested in why we like the Juniper. And I think we're going down to the lobby next. I think we go down to the lobby to see what's going on down there. So there's the hotel. There we go. This is probably 2017 or 2018, I think. I'm not sure what this is from. Here's the lobby. This is people, like I said, people congregate here in the mornings. They congregate here between sessions. This is what it looks like. A lot of people talking about a lot of different subjects. This is why we like the Juniper. It's all in one place. And as usual, I'll be reporting live from the Creative Summit every day. There's iJustine. She was there 2018, I think. Was she there in 2019? Yeah, she was there in 2023, I'm sorry. 2023, she was there as well. So that's some of the, give you a flavor of what the Juniper Hotel is like. It's really, really a good place to go for to hold the Creative Summit, Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Our numbers are going up and up and up for these live streams, going up and up and up. If there's any news this week, I'll be back live. If 10.8.1 comes out, I'll come back and we'll talk about that. One of the main things about these live streams is it gives you a chance to comment and talk about Final Cut Pro. So the Final Cut Pro team watches these. They're on vacation, I think, right now. Maybe they're coming back. Maybe they haven't seen this latest one, but they will be seeing these live streams. So they will see your comments. That's one of the main things that we do. Is anybody over there on X? Post a comment so I can, let me just see if I can accomplish that real quick. It's always a bit of a challenge going over there. I'll do it. I'll let somebody else do it. Somebody else over there on X, send me a comment so I can see what is going on. There we go. So everybody, next week, I don't think I have anything to do in the afternoon, so 11 to 12. If you have any opinion on it, put it in the comments, which time you like better. But it's going to bounce between 10 o'clock in the morning and 12 noon Eastern Daylight Time. It's going to bounce around 10 o'clock in the morning to 12 noon. But I'm going to get out of here and get ready for my live session. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Everybody who tunes in and watches this, you obviously enjoy it. Otherwise, why in the world would you tune in? Doesn't make any sense to tune in if you didn't enjoy talk about Final Cut Pro. Thank you very much, everybody. It is appreciated. And if I don't see you, let's hope the Final Cut Pro team releases 10.8.1 this week for bug fixes. I'm not using 10.8 because there's too many little quirks. I'm still on 10.7.1, but we'll see what happens. And if there's any more news about the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, I'll come back on this week to talk about it. Other than that, we'll see you next Saturday. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.